Hey guys, and welcome back. This is part 2 of the Git Introduction to Git video. In the first video we went through adding files, committing files, and basic merging. Now we're going to move on to the recommended Git method of using its version control system, which is merging, creating branches, and merging branches. Now Git is a little bit different to other version control systems like Subversion. Its master branch, which we talked about in the last video, is actually more like a production branch, whereas in Subversion its default branch is called trunk, and it is actually more like a development branch. So just that to keep in mind. In Git, mastered is like production if you use this workflow method. Of course, you can do it differently, but this is the recommended method. So let's continue. So just recapping on where we were last time, if we have a look at our repository, it's all clean. We're on branch master, just like we were before. Now if we have a look at a new command, which is git log, we can see something new. So in this message, so git log graph, it shows you this red line down the left hand side here with the 3 stars. Now these 3 stars are alerting you to commits, and each of these commits has a message. So in this, the most recent one added the 3 files separately. The one before that added the first change relating to the first and second files, and of course the original one, which is adding the files for the first time. So there are other things we can do. For example, pretty one line, which will show all the commits just in one line, and all it shows you is the message. So in this case it's just the message and the commit hash. Before it would have shown you, in this case, the author, date, and the message. So that's just a cleaner way to do it. So anyway, getting back to what we were talking about. So at this stage we've made all of our commits on the master branch, and we now need to work out how our workflow should be. And since Git's master branch is supposed to be production, you wouldn't usually work in the production branch. So what we're going to do is, one, create a new branch called myFeature. We're going to do some work on that myFeature branch, and then when that work is complete and tested, we'll merge it back into master. Obviously I'm not going to test it because they're just test files, but that's the workflow you'll be taking. So let's first create the branch. Okay, so this command we just ran, git checkout -b myFeature. What this means is I want to check out a branch. So for example, if there's multiple branches, I'd just use git checkout to switch between the branches. But by adding this b flag, I actually want to create a new branch, and I want to call it myFeature. And you can see here from the message, switch to new branch, myFeature. So what that's done is it's copied the master branch, create a new branch called myFeature, and now the two are completely separate and you can work independently of the master branch. Let's make a few changes to these. So test in file 3, and we'll remove some text in file 1. And we'll come back here. So we'll have a look with the git status. So the next thing we'll have to do, as you saw earlier, we'll have to stage them and then commit them with a message. So let's add them. So we just added the files from the current directory, all that haven't been staged, and we now can commit. The changes for my new feature. So this time I'm adding a message, which is pretty much what we're doing. We've created a new feature branch, and we're now adding the changes for this new feature. We can have a look at git branch, which is a new command. So this one right here, git branch. This will show us all the local branches that are in our repository. So in this case, master and star, meaning we are on this one, my feature. We can now switch back to master. Once we're in master, we merge in my feature, and then we remove the feature branch. So let's do that. Git checkout. And remember this command, the git checkout master, it's missing the -b flag, which was for creating a new branch, because we don't want to create a new branch, master already exists. So we can see that we've just been switched to master. And the next new command, which you'll use often, is git merge. Now, this command, git merge, is just what it sounds like. So it merges in the changes from my feature. The new part is this no FF. What it actually stands for is no fast forward. Okay, so the merge has happened. It's telling us down here that file1.txt had 2 alterations. One line was added, one was removed. File3.txt had 1 alteration, which was 1 addition. It also gives us a full description down the bottom here with 2 files changed, 2 insertions and 1 deletion. So the git log, graph and pretty 1 line. Now this will actually show us what the difference is in that commit. What we're looking at here are the 3 changes down the bottom here. We'll start at the bottom. So there's 3 changes down the bottom. 1, 2, 3. By using the NoFF, it's actually created this red line here, which comes out on a right angle to this star, and it's then showed us that there was a commit outside of the master in a separate branch, and then the next commit was us bringing those changes back into master, and it actually tells us with this message, merge branch my feature, as the next commit. So in a case where you would have many commits on a branch, you actually have a visual identifier of exactly which commits were in your feature branch. So if there is a problem with the feature branch, you can actually pull out a specific commit. You can know what commits related to your branch, and you can also pull out the whole branch easily by identifying where the first commit which started your branch happened. So there are 3 really good benefits to doing it like this. So at this point, we now remove the other my feature branch using this command. So git branch, the new thing is -d. So -d means delete, and the name of the branch, which is feature. Now -d is what you should be using for deleting branches, because what it does is a check first to validate that all of your changes have been successfully merged. Otherwise it won't allow the delete. For example, if there was a conflict or you hadn't committed some changes in the other branch, this would stop you at this point and tell you what's happening, and then it wouldn't delete the branch. So it's a really good indicator that to make sure you've had the merge successfully. So let's do that. And we'll have a look at the branch, and now we're back to master. So in this scenario, we're back on master, and the master is very clean. So from this video, what you've seen is how to create a branch, how to merge a branch. You already knew how to do commits and adds. You've now seen a workflow where you create a branch as a feature branch, you do the work on the feature branch, and then once it's successful, you bring it back into master to keep the master like a production workflow. And this is pretty much the basic introduction into Git. So it gives you all the tools you need to use Git branching and merging successfully. It probably hasn't prepared you yet for doing it in a team, but it has prepared you for doing it for your own projects, and it's given you the ability to roll back and fix problems if you do encounter them. Okay, thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.